Hey guys, tonight we're diving into something frostier than your ex's heart. You'll be stepping into the boots of an Inuit seal hunter on the Arctic ice. Don't worry, I've turned down the freezing to death dial to cozy adventure mode. Though honestly, if this were real, you'd probably tap out by lunchtime when your nose hairs start crystallizing. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And drop a comment telling me what city you're in and the time there. I love imagining you all tucked in from Tokyo to Toronto. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're standing on sea ice, so vast it makes your IKEA parking lot look quaint. The air bites your cheeks, not like a playful puppy, more like a wolf that means business. Your mucklucks, sealskin boots lined with caribou fur, sink slightly into the snow, whispering critch-critch with each step. This isn't just walking, it's a high-stakes game of don't wake the baby. Except the baby is a 300-pound seal, and the crib is 1,000,000 square miles of frozen ocean. The silent approach begins here. Forget crunchy snow. Your job is to move like a shadow with blisters. You shift your weight toe to heel, rolling each footfall like you're stepping over sleeping dragons. The ice groans under you, a deep vibrating up your legs. One wrong move, crack. Not the ice, your ego when the seal vanishes. Fun fact your history teacher skipped. For 4,000 years, Inuit hunters perfected this quiet glide. They'd track seals to breathing holes in the ice, sometimes waiting hours in -40 degrees Celsius. No cofibrax, no podcast. Just you, your thoughts, and the haunting realization that polar bears also enjoy seal buffets. Here's where things get weirdly adorable. Inuit kids train for this by playing kamuksik, literally little footsteps. They'd creep toward elders pretending to be seals. If the seal heard you, it'd shout asterisk, AOP. Asterisk, and you'd lose. Imagine your niece tiptoeing toward Uncle Bob while he snores on the couch. Academic debate alert. Some anthropologists insist this technique is instinctive. Others argue toddlers taught to deserve Olympic medals in stealth. You spot a dark smudge ahead, a seal's breathing hole. You freeze mid-step, one leg hovering like a bad ballet move. Your lungs burn, not from cold, but from forgetting to breathe. The ice hums again, this time like a cello played by ghosts. A hunter once told his grandson, Sila Anersabik, the weather is listening. Right now, it's eavesdropping on your heartbeat. As you sink into a crouch, snow crumbles down your collar. You curse internally. External cursing equals scared seals. Suddenly, the wind shifts. Your nose hairs freeze into tiny chimes. You remember the elder's advice. Asterisk, if the ice sighs, you're safe. If it screams, run. Asterisk tonight, it's sighing a low lullaby creak. Somewhere beneath you, a seal takes a breath. You don't hear it. You feel it, a tiny vibration through the soles of your feet. Your wool socks itch. You ignore it. Priorities. Your knees ache from crouching, but movement is betrayal. That seal's breath hole is a black coin on the ice, a portal to another world. You've studied its edges, frost-fringed, slightly melted by warm exhalations rising from the ocean below. Time stretches like old elastic. Your toes? Numb souvenirs. Just as you consider sacrificing a pinky toe to frostbite for warmth, it happens. A wet sound, like a whale blowing a raspberry. The seal is back. Breath-holding lessons aren't glamorous. You'll learn that fast. The hunter beside you, let's call him Adada, Inuktitut for father, though he's everyone's uncle, nods. It's your turn. You strip to your Adafik caribou undershirt. Dignity abandoned faster than a snowman in July. The ice hole winks at you. One breath. Two. Then you plunge your face into the Arctic Ocean. Shock. Not cold. Asterisk electric star. 1,000 needles prick your cheeks, your forehead, your eyelids. Salt water floods your nostrils. Your brain screams abort, but Atada's hand rests on your shoulder. Tama, he murmurs. Asterisk, be still. Asterisk, you force your eyes open. Green-gray water swirls, lit by trapped moonlight. Strings of seaweed dance like drunken ghosts. Something silver darts past, a Capelin fish, utterly unimpressed by you. Mainstream history loves Viking longships, but here's what they missed. Inuit hunters could dive 60 feet in sealskin clothing, holding their breath for minutes. 16th century European explorers wrote hysterical diaries about fishmen surfacing with harpoons. Meanwhile, Inuit kids practiced by playing imik-pakturnik, breath competition, floating face down in tidal pools while elders dropped caribou hair strands on their backs. If you flinched, game over. Bonus weirdness, they'd chew raw seal liver beforehand. Turns out its high iron content boosts oxygen storage. Who knew? You're at 45 seconds now. Your lungs stage a mutiny. At-Atta taps your back twice, the signal to surface. You gasp, salt water dripping off your chin like icy snot. Your face burns as if scrubbed with sandpaper. Good, he grunts. Now longer. Here's the science your body hates. Cold water triggers the mammalian dive reflex. Your heart slows to 30 beats per minute. Blood retreats from limbs to protect your brain and heart. You're basically a soggy, self-preserving turnip. Anthropologists still bicker. Is this reflex stronger in Inuit genetics, or is it trained from toddlerhood? One grumpy professor insists it's all cultural epigenetics, meaning your grandma's dive skills altered your DNA. Try explaining that at a family reunion. At-Atta demonstrates next. He sinks without ripple. Bubbles rise, slow, fat, unhurried. You count. 1 polar bear, 2 narwhals, 3 frustrated anthropologists at 90 seconds. He emerges, serene as a Buddha who just found Wi-Fi. Your mind fights, he says, wiping seawater from his eyes. Tell it. Asterisk, I am a stone. Stones don't drown. Asterisk. You try again. Face in. Ignore the brain's panic sirens. Focus on the seaweed's waltz. At 50 seconds, something shifts. The cold stops biting. It just is. Your heartbeat thuds in your ears. Boom, boom. You're a stone. A very cold, salty stone. Suddenly, a shadow glides beneath you. Massive. Silent. A bearded seal, close enough to touch. Its eye, dark, liquid, ancient, meets yours. Time stops. You forget to need air. At-Atta yanks you up by your collar. Never lock eyes underwater, he chides. Seals steal souls that way. Or maybe he just saved you from passing out. Academic consensus is divided. At-Atta hauls you onto solid ice like a sopping wet seal pup. Your clothes freeze instantly into a crunchy exoskeleton. Lesson 3, he says, kicking your boot. Ice lies better than a politician. You blink salt from your lashes. Before you stretches a mosaic of whites and blues. Beautiful, deadly, and utterly indecipherable. Reading the ice begins with your knees on the frozen sea. At-Atta scrapes snow from a patch with his mittened fist. Look deeper, he commands. At first, you see only milky opacity. Then, as your eyes adjust, faint streaks of turquoise, like veins in a marble countertop. He taps a grayish zone. This? Sikuliak, young ice, thinner than your patience. Next, a deep cerulean band, asterisk Tuvakstar, old ice, safe like grandmother's lap. Finally, he points to an innocent-looking white patch, asterisk Chinu star, slush ice, swallows fool's hole. You inch forward. The ice groans, a bassoon note vibrating through your ribs. At-Atta freezes. Hear that? While you rate. Wind-carved ice ridges hum when stressed. He drops to his stomach, ear pressed to the surface like a safecracker. You mimic him, cheek against the cold. You hear it, a faint click-click-click beneath. Seal claws, he whispers, scratching its breathing hole. Mainstream fact. Inuit ice classification has over 100 terms. NASA once hired elders to explain Arctic ice dynamics. The cold truth? European explorers died because they saw flat white nothing. Inuit saw a topographic map. Now the weird bit. At-Atta pulls a tiny ivory spoon from his pouch. He scoops loose snow, mixes it with, wait, is that urine? He catches your horrified stare. Melt accelerator, he shrugs. He dribbles the yellow slurry onto suspicious gray ice. It sinks faster than your dignity. See? Hollow underneath. Survival hack. Urine salt content lowers water's freezing point exposing weak ice. Try that at your next corporate retreat. You spot a potential path, a chain of blue ice patches. No, At-Atta stops you. Blue ice near pressure ridges cracks like glass. He points left where the ice looks worse, scratched and milky. Wind-polished ice grips better. Controversy alert. Some modern glaciologists insist blue ice is strongest. Traditional hunters swear wind-scoured white ice has memory. The debate gets hotter than a blubber lamp. You test his theory. Step onto the milky ice. Your boot sole grips like sandpaper. At-Atta nods. Now listen with your feet. You shuffle. The ice answers with a solid thunk. Then you try the pretty blue path. One step, asterisk creek star. The sound curls your toes. You leap back. Beneath the blue facade, a hairline fracture spiders outward. Eyes lie, At-Atta grunts. Ears panic. Feet tell truth. He shows you his snow probe, a caribou antler tipped with iron. He stabs it rhythmically ahead like a blind man's cane. Thud thud, safe. Tock tock, doubtful. Crack splash, abort. You realize this is the original percussion concert. Suddenly, he stops. Before you, ice buckles into jagged teeth, a pressure ridge. Seal highway, he murmurs. Tide shifts jam ice slabs upward, creating underwater tunnels seals use. He scans the chaos. There. He points to a deceptively calm pool beside a serrated edge. Current keeps it open. You peer in. Black water. No bubbles. Doubt knots your stomach. At-Atta reads your face. Watch the birds. You glance up. 2 ivory gulls circle lazily. No seals. Gulls fly high. Seals below. Gulls dip low. These birds, it turns out, are feathery seal detectors. Ornithologists still argue if it's symbiosis or theft. You settle beside the hole. Time melts. Your mind drifts to grocery lists, unfinished emails. Then, asterisk star. A whiskered nose erupts, glistening. It inhales. You inhale. For a heartbeat, human and seal share the same Arctic air. At-Atta doesn't move. Not yet, his eyes say. Breathe with it. 3 breaths. 4. On the 5th exhale, the seal submerges. You count seconds like prayers. At 40, At-Atta taps your wrist. Now, it's deep. You lean over the abyss. The water reflects your face, pale, wide-eyed. Below your reflection, a dark shape rises. Slowly, silently, carrying your dinner, your warmth, your survival in its wake. The strike never happens. As you raise your harpoon, the ice beneath you shudders, a deep tectonic off. The seal vanishes in a swirl of bubbles. You stagger back, heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird. At-Atta steadies you. Ice shifts before dawn, he murmurs, like a sleeper turning over. Above, the aurora bleeds green across the sky. It's 3 a.m. Time for Toolmaker's dawn. You follow him back to camp, legs wobbling. Inside the Carmack, stone and turf winter house, the air smells of burnt seal oil and dried seaweed. Women stir sleeping children under caribou hides. An elder Ujjarak stone sits by a soapstone lamp. Without a word, he slides a frozen chunk toward you, walrus tusk, creamy as old piano keys. Your task, carve a new harpoon head before first light. Ujjarak's hands move first. His ulu half-moon knife shaves ivory curls that spiral to the floor like brittle pasta. Seals are shy of clumsy tools, he says, not looking up. You mimic his grip. The ivory is shockingly hard. Your first stroke gouges sideways, ruining the symmetry. Like this, Ujjarak adjusts your thumb. Hold the anger. Let the blade sing. Mainstream archaeology adores Inuit tools. Museums display them as primitive art. Reality? Each curve is physics. Ujjarak shows you a finished head. Barb hooks flare backward like angry fish hooks. Pulls deeper when seal struggles, he explains. The socket? Fluted to fit a wooden shaft wrapped with wet sinew. Freezing tightens the bind. Roman catapults had nothing on this. Now, the weirdness. Your ivory block refuses to soften. Ujjarak grunts, stands, and unceremoniously urinates into a sealskin pouch. He hands it to you. Soak. You stare. Warm urine softens ivory, he states, as if explaining rain. You submerge your carving. Ammonia stings your nostrils. But minutes later, the tusk yields like cold butter. Survival hack. Urea breaks down collagen. Renaissance sculptors used pea-soaked marble. Inuit beat them by millennia. You carve again. The ulu bites deeper now, controlled. Ivory dust coats your knuckles. Ujjarik nods approval. Now the blood groove. He etches a hair-thin channel along the central ridge. Seal's spirit escapes here. Nostraged. Modern engineers call it a hemorrhagic channel, reducing suction for cleaner retrieval. Anthropologists weep over whether it's spiritual or surgical. As you work, Ujjarik tells of Tulagak, the trickster raven who stole sunlight. Your blade slips. A barb snaps off. Tulagak laughs at hurry. Ujjarik chides. He tosses you a smaller tusk fragment. Meganolagak. A toggle, a cunning backup. If the main head fails, this ivory peg pops sideways inside the seal's blubber, anchoring it. Think of it as paleoengineering redundancy. Controversy corner. Some scholars insist Inuit never invented these tools. They were gifted by Sedna, the sea goddess. Evidence? Broken harpoons found in 1,000-year-old frozen middens show identical designs. Coincidence or divine copyright? Academia's Cold War continues. Dawn leaks through the smoke hole, a smear of violet. Your hands ache, but before you, a wicked ivory point glimmers. Ujjarik tests its balance on his fingertip. Good. He hands you a dried ptarmigan foot, Polish with tendons. You rub the rough spots with the bird's scaly toes. The ivory grows glassy smooth. Suddenly, a commotion outside. A hunter returns empty-handed, mittens torn. Asterisk Nanook asterisk, he spits. Polar bear tracks near the seal holes. Ujjarik takes your finished harpoon head. He rubs it with blubber, whispering. Then he presses it into your palm. Now it knows your breath. You step outside. The bear's footprints crater the snow, dinner plate sized, terrifyingly fresh. Ada approaches, examining your carving. He runs a thumb over the blood groove. Tonight, he says, we hunt with Nanook. At your stunned look, he grins. Bear scares seals toward us. You clutch your ivory weapon. It feels suddenly alive, cold, hungry, humming with dawn light. Somewhere out there, a seal takes a breath. A bear stalks, and your blade waits. The bear's presence hangs over camp like a frozen storm cloud. But Ada just sharpens his harpoon, humming. Nanook herd seals like sheepdogs herd sheep, he says. You clutch your ivory blade, its edge gleaming under the weak dawn light. Now, Ada nods toward the ice, become the seal. Seal's perspective begins with you belly crawling toward the breathing hole. Every crunch of snow sounds like thunder. You mimic Atada's fluid roll, shoulder hip knee, a human wheel rotating silently. The ice groans. You freeze. Below, in the black water, a seal hears it too. You reach the hole's edge. Ada hands you a sealskin mitten. Dip your hand. You sink your bare fingers into the water. Agony. But slowly, sensation numbs into something distant. Feel the current, he whispers. A faint tug eastward. Seals ride currents to save breath. Mainstream zoology fact. Ringed seals, asterisk, natick asterisk, dive 300 feet, holding breath for 45 minutes. Their secret? Collapsible rib cages squeezing lungs flat. But Inuit hunters knew deeper truths. Ada taps his temple. Seals dream between breaths. Now, the bizarre part. You lean until your lips hover inches above the water. Inhale slowly. Exhale warmer air. Whoosh. You're mirroring the seal's surfacing rhythm. Ada smiles. Call them. Controversy alert. Marine biologists scoff, but elders insist seals recognize breath pattern songs. One study found seal vocalizations shift pitch near traditional hunting grounds. Coincidence? Academia's headache. Time blurs. Your knees fuse to the ice. Just as despair seeps in, it happens. A vibration through the water. Not bubbles, vocalizations. Low moans like creaking ship timbers. Atada's eyes widen. Mothers singing to pups below ice. Hydrophones later proved him right. Seals communicate through ice like a watery telegraph. Suddenly, a dark shape materializes beneath the hole, not rising vertically, spiraling upward in a lazy corkscrew. Old male, at a breeze. Clever. The spiral masks its exact surfacing spot. You hold your own breath. The seal's back breaks the surface, glistening gray-dappled. Its nostrils flare. HSSSSSNK. Here's what textbooks omit. Seal breath smells of fermented krill and Arctic poppies. It's oddly herbal. At-Atta pinches your arm. Asterisk wait star. The seal submerges. 6 seconds later, it resurfaces, 3 feet left. Testing for danger. You count its breaths. 1. HSSNK scanning. 2. HSSSSSSSNK deeper inhale. 3. HSS. Now, you explode upward. Harpoon arcing down. Not at the seal, at the water beside it. The splash makes it flinch toward your actual strike zone. Atada's voice echoes in your head. Asterisk. Never aim where prey is. Aim where fear will push it. Asterisk. The ivory head sinks into blubber. A shuddering thunk travels up the shaft. The seal whirls, eyes wide black moons. No struggle, just profound surprise. Then it vanishes, dragging your harpoon line into the depths. At-Atta grabs the rope. Hold like this. He wraps it diagonally across his back, boots braced on ice ridges. The line sings taut. You copy his stance. The submerged seal pulls with terrifying power, a freight train in fur. Let him run, At-Atta grunts. Tire the spirit. Here's the cold science. A wounded seal's dive triggers superhuman strength via adrenaline. But Inuit exploit a flaw. Seals must surface to breathe. Your rope is threaded through an unack, ice anchor, a T-shaped bone jammed crosswise into a secondary hole. The seal can dive, but not escape. Minutes crawl. The rope jerks sporadically. Then stillness. Too long. Doubt gnaws. Did it. Ziz zip. The rope rockets upward. The seal bursts through a different hole 20 feet away, gasping. At-Atta yells, re-spool. You frantically gather slack as it dives again. This cat and mouse could last hours. Weird knowledge interlude. Elders claim exhausted seals release sorrow bubbles before surrender. Modern divers observe stressed seals emitting bubble streams from their nostrils. Poetic physiology or coincidence? Scholars throw snowballs over it. On the third surfacing, the seal's breaths come ragged. It floats listlessly, eye half closed. At-Atta nods. Its Inua, spirit, prepares to leave. He hands you the tunic, a small ivory club. Quickly, respectfully, you paddle silently closer in a sealskin kayak, asterisk kajak asterisk, that appeared like magic. The seal watches you unblinking. Its eye holds galaxies. You raise the club. Look away when you strike. At-Atta murmurs, so its soul doesn't cling to yours. The tunic falls. A clean thud. The seal shudders once. Then stillness. Blood blooms in the water. Crimson petals on black silk. At-Atta chants softly, sprinkling snow into the sea. Asterisk Kujanak asterisk, he whispers. Thank you. You touch the still warm fur. It feels like thick velvet over steel cables. No triumph floods you, only a vast, quiet exhaustion. Somewhere below, a mother seal's moaning song drifts through the icy dark. The seal lies heavy on the ice, a mountain of blubber and muscle. At-Atta kneels, pressing his forehead briefly against his flank. Asterisk Kujanak asterisk, he murmurs again. Then practicality returns. Now the real work begins. He hands you a coil of braided sinew rope thicker than your thumb. Asterisk asterisk, the weight of patience, asterisk asterisk, is heavier than the seal. You fumble to attach the rope to the harpoon shaft still embedded near the flippers. Your fingers, stiff with cold, refuse precision. At-Atta watches, then silently takes over. With 3 deft loops and a slippery knot that seems to tie itself, it's secure. Tie it behind the flippers, he instructs. Drag smoother, less snow plowing. You shoulder the rope, lean forward, pull. Nothing happens. The seal might as well be bolted to the ocean floor. Atada's chuckle puffs, white in the air. Alone, you die here. He positions himself beside you, threading another rope around the seal's snout. We pull like geese fly. V formation, he calls to two boys who'd appeared silently from the pressure ridges. They slot in behind you, smaller ropes in hand. On my breath, Ada commands. Asterisk O. Huff, asterisk. For body strain. Muscles burn. The seal slides forward one grudging inch. Then another. The rope bites into your shoulder like frozen wire. Mainstream fact asterisk, a large ringed seal weighs 150 to 300 pounds. Inuit hunters sometimes drag the miles over pressure ridges and snowdrifts. Colonial diaries marveled at this superhuman endurance, missing the genius. Technique over brute force. Now the physics lesson you didn't ask for asterisk. Ada stops you after 20 agonizing steps. He kicks snow onto the ice ahead, scattering a gritty layer. Ice too smooth? Seal spins like a drunk walrus. He adjusts the ropes, creating a triangular harness effect. Pull diagonal. Makes it skate straight. You try again. Miraculously, the carcass glides easier. Its bulk now a reluctant sled. Weird survival hack asterisk. One boy, Peacock, one who gets into everything, pulls a dried seal intestine from his pouch, translucent, like old plastic wrap. He soaks it in seawater, then lays the slippery tube along the rope where it crosses your parka shoulder. Friction killer, he grins. Centuries before Teflon, Inuit used natural polymers. Bonus, thawed seal intestine tastes like salty gummy worms. Don't ask how we know. Controversy corner asterisk. Anthropologists once theorized Inuit used ice sleds for transport. Reality? Elders scoff. Sleds scare seals for miles. Instead, they perfected the seal pole, a specific stoop posture redistributing weight to thighs and hips, not the back. X-rays of ancient Inuit remains show astonishingly robust femurs. Modern ergonomics labs are just catching up. Progress is glacial. You crest a wind-scoured ridge. Below lies a field of sastrugi, hard snow waves carved by wind. Nightmare terrain. Ada signals halt. He scans the jagged landscape, then points left. See the raven? A black shape hops near a distant ice mound. Ravens mark snow softened by seal breath below. Easier path. You trust him. Detouring toward the bird adds distance, but saves effort. The raven caws, flapping away as you approach. Beneath its perch, the snow is softer, almost powdery. The seal slides with surreal ease. Asterisk Tulagak helps those who listen. Asterisk Peacock whispers. Ornithologists note ravens do follow hunters for scraps. Symbiosis or sly opportunism. Academia's feathers remain ruffled. Fatigue becomes a living thing. Your vision blurs at the edges. Shapes morph. A jagged ice block becomes a crouching bear. A distant pressure ridge wavers like a stone giant. Ada sees you waver. Breathe like the ice, he instructs. Slow cracks. Long sighs. You match your inhales to the distant umpa of shifting flows. The panic recedes. The hallucination station asterisk. Hours in, something warm trickles down your neck. Blubber? Blood? You panic, swiping at it. Peacock laughs. Just sweat. Good sign. In minus 30 degrees Celsius, sweating is dangerous. Rapid heat loss follows. Ada stops immediately. Off. Parka. You shiver violently as he peels your outer layer. He rubs your back with handfuls of dry snow, an ancient quick-dry technique. Wet clothes steal life faster than Nanook, he warns. The snow scrubs like cold sandpaper, absorbing moisture. You redress, trembling but drier. Suddenly, Peacock shouts. Ahead, the ice slopes gently downward toward camp. A blessed downhill run. Hope surges. You reposition, ropes taut. The seal begins to slide almost willingly. Momentum builds. You're practically jogging. Crack thunk. The ice gives way beneath the seal's massive weight. One flank plunges into slushy seawater. The ropes snap taut, yanking you backward onto the ice. The seal is half submerged, wallowing. Ada doesn't hesitate. He wades into the thigh-deep, freezing slush, asterisk chinu asterisk, driving his walking stick deep to find purchase. Asterisk pull now. asterisk, he roars. Asterisk harder, asterisk, terror fuels your muscles. You heave, boots scrabbling for grip. The boys add their shrill cries. The seal's waterlogged weight is monstrous. Inch by terrible inch, it emerges from the greedy water, streaming icy brine. Ad-Addis staggers back onto solid ice, soaked to the waist. His leggings freeze instantly into stiff, clanking tubes. He looks at you, breathing hard. Patience, he rasps, also means knowing when to rage against the ice. Camp smoke appears on the horizon, a gray smudge against the twilight purple. The dogs smell the seal first. Their howling splits the air, a hungry, ancient chorus. Ad-Addis smiles wearily. Listen, that's the sound of patience, finally getting dinner. You drop the rope. Your shoulders scream. Before you, the seal glistens under the first stars, a colossal, hard-won offering. The journey back felt longer than the hunt. You touch its cold fur. Gratitude mixes with bone-deep exhaustion. Somewhere a raven laughs. The camp erupts. Children swarm the seal, their small mittens patting its glistening fur like worshippers at a shrine. Dogs strain against sinew tethers, barking ecstatic promises of future scraps. An elder woman, panic daughter, steps forward. Her ulu flashes silver in the twilight. With a single fluid stroke, she slices the rope still binding the harpoon shaft. Asterisk, asterisk, blubber lamp science, asterisk, asterisk begins, she states, her voice cutting through the noise. Or we all freeze by midnight. You're handed a bone scraper, curved like a moon fragment, sharp as regret. Panic guides your hand to the seal's flank. Not through the skin, she corrects. Asterisk under asterisk it. Like parting hair. You press down. A surprising layer of fat, thick and creamy yellow as frozen butter, separates from the deep red muscle beneath. The smell is intense, fishy, rich, primal. Mainstream fact, asterisk seal blubber is a biological marvel. It insulates against minus 50 degrees Celsius water, stores vitamin D crucial for Arctic survival, and burns cleaner than whale oil. A single large seal yields 30 to 40 pounds of this liquid gold. The unseen physics asterisk. Panic directs the flensing. Strips of blubber are laid on a stretched walrus hide. Women knead it vigorously. Warms the oil, Panic explains. As you mimic them, the fat softens, turning translucent. Then comes the real magic. She scoops a handful into a porous sealskin bag and suspends it over a soapstone lamp, asterisk, cullic asterisk. Gentle heat from the lamp's flame below begins to melt the blubber. Clear oil drips into a waiting gut container. The solid residue? Pressed into dense cakes, future fuel or emergency rations. Weird alchemy asterisk. Panic sprinkles a pinch of dried kelp ash into the rendering oil. Keeps it from smoking, she states. Chemistry later confirmed. Alkaline ash neutralizes free fatty acids, preventing soot. But here's the bizarre twist. Children are tasked with collecting specific types of urine-saturated snow, asterisk yellow snow, obviously asterisk, to pre-soak the kelp. Old urine makes better ash, Peacock boasts, gleefully dumping his contribution. The ammonia breaks down the kelp faster. Pre-industrial chemistry, at its most personal. The cullic itself is a masterpiece of Arctic engineering. Carved from soapstone, it's shaped like a half moon with a wick channel. Moss wicks float in the rendered oil. Panic adjusts a seal intestine draft hood above it, channeling smoke out a roof vent. One lamp heats a whole house, she says. You feel it, the biting chill retreating, replaced by a dry, oily warmth. Controversy corner asterisk. Archaeologists found cullic lamps in 4,000-year-old sites. But the big debate? Temperature control. Panic demonstrates. She trims a moss wick. The flame dims, heat drops. She adds a sliver of caribou fat to the oil. Flame leaps, warmth surges. Elders claim they could hold a steady 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above freezing, perfect for melting ice for water, without overheating the ice block structure. Skeptics called it impossible until thermocouples in reconstructed igloos proved them right. How? We listen to the flame song. Panic shrugs. Academia remains tone deaf. You're handed a bowl of warm, rendered seal oil. It smells surprisingly mild. Drink, Panic orders. It coats your throat like liquid velvet, radiating warmth to your fingertips. Calories and vitamins flood your system. 900 calories per cup. Survival espresso. The light show asterisk. As full night falls, the colic becomes the sun. Its light paints dancing shadows on the domed ice walls. Hunters stretching hides. Children playing string games, elders carving. It's hypnotic. Panic points to the quality of the light. Good oil makes yellow flame. Warm light. Bad oil, blue flame. Cold light makes you sad. Photobiologists now know warm light spectra suppress melatonin less than blue light. Inuit optimize circadian rhythms millennia before sleep labs. Suddenly, a commotion. Peacock, sneaking a lick of semi-rendered blubber, gets caught. Instead of scolding, Panic laughs. She dips her finger in the oil and draws a tiny seal shape on his forehead. Now Tuligak knows you're greedy, she teases. It's a reminder, this isn't just fuel. It's life, like community. Outside, the wind howls like a hungry spirit. Inside, bathed in the Kulik's gentle, golden glow, smelling of warm oil and drying hides, you feel an unexpected sense of profound safety. The ice groans, a deep resonant but the lamp flame barely flickers. Panic smiles, reading your thoughts. The ice talks, she murmurs, feeding the flame a sliver of blubber. But the lamp answers, we are still here. You watch the flame. It doesn't roar, it purrs. A tiny, resilient sun in a frozen universe. Your eyelids grow heavy. The shadows on the wall soften, merging into dream shapes. Somewhere a child giggles. The lamp whispers warmth onto your face. The long hunt, the freezing drag, it all melts into the gentle hum of the Kulik. Survival, you realize, can feel strangely like peace. The Kulik's golden hum still warms your cheeks as Panic taps your wrist. Sit, she commands, pointing to a pile of caribou hides. Before you, a tangle of glistening white cords lies coiled like sleepy snakes, caribou sinew. Asterisk, asterisk, sewing with sinew asterisk, asterisk, she announces, handing you a needle carved from a loon's leg bone, sharpened to a wicked point. Or your new boots will leak like a guilty secret. Your fingers fumble. The sinew feels tough yet slippery. Panic sighs, plucking it from your grip. She splits one strand lengthwise with her thumbnail, rye-ipe, revealing individual filaments finer than hair. Like this, she murmurs. Strength needs flexibility. She twists two strands together with a swift rolling motion against her parka-clad thigh. The resulting thread is impossibly strong, yet supple. Mainstream fact asterisk caribou leg tendon, asterisk Ivalu asterisk, was the Arctic's nylon. Dried, split, re-wetted, it shrinks as it dries, creating waterproof, seams tighter than modern glue. A single caribou yielded enough sinew for a family's annual sewing needs. The spit and spin ritual asterisk. Panic dips the twisted sinew into a small soapstone cup. Not water. Saliva. Your spit knows your strength, she states, handing it back. You mimic her, rolling the damp sinew between your palms. It warms, softens, becomes sticky. Now comes the bizarre part. She pops the end into her mouth, chewing gently for 10 seconds. Old way, she grins, offering you the slimy strand. Saliva enzymes weaken fibers, just enough makes threading easy. Reluctantly, you suck the end. It tastes of salt, grass, and faint blood. But miraculously, the stubborn bone needle slides through the softened tip. Biochemists later identified lysozyme in saliva as the natural thread softener. Renaissance embroiderers used honey. Inuit use spit. Controversy in every stitch asterisk. You begin sewing 2 seal leather pieces for a boot sole asterisk kamek asterisk. Panic stops you instantly. Stitch away from your heart. Always. Her needle moves left or right. Spirits enter through needle holes. Stitching toward heart lets bad spirits in. Anthropologists debate fiercely. Was this spiritual belief or brilliant ergonomics? Stitching away from the body naturally creates smoother, tighter seams. Practical magic or profound practicality? Scholarly fistfights continue. The hidden language asterisk. As you stitch, Panic decodes the patterns. See Auntie's boot? She points to an elder's footwear. Delicate chevrons run along the cuff. That siku, sea ice, warns of thin spots. Another pair has interlocking circles. Asterisk pucac asterisk, snow crystals. Means I navigate blizzards well. Your own crude stitches earn a snort. Yours say, this hunter trips often. Embroidery as topographic map, CV, and community bulletin board. Textile historians weep over museum pieces they mislabeled as decoration. The painful precision asterisk. Hours blur. Your thumb bleeds where the bone needle slipped. Panic smears it with rendered seal fat. Needle likes blood, she says cryptically. The rhythmic pull-thrust-pull of sewing becomes hypnotic. Asterisk SHHHK thunk. SHHHK thunk. Asterisk outside. The wind wails. Inside, the culloch purrs. The sinew whispers through leather. And generations of women seem to lean over your shoulder. You notice the elders' hands, knuckles swollen, fingertips calloused into leather themselves. Arthritis is our tattoo, Panic says, following your gaze. Shows we lived. Unexpected calculus asterisk. Panic measures your foot not with string, but with knuckle widths. 3 knuckles heel to arch, she mutters, marking the leather. 4 knuckles for toe room. Why? Frostbitten feet swell. Exact fit equals frostbite. Medieval European cobblers wouldn't grasp this. Later you realize, her own fingers were the perfect ruler, scaled to her body, ensuring every stitch was ergonomic long before the word existed. The grandmother paradox asterisk. As dusk deepens, an elder named Inuja, mother of many, takes over. Her stitches are microscopic, impossibly even. She hums a tuneless song. Suddenly, she pierces the leather through an existing stitch hole from the inside. Why, you whisper. Hides the knot, she murmurs. Bad spirits follow loose ends. Conservation scientists now use this Inuit blind stitch to repair priceless parchments. The repair is invisible from both sides. Was it born of spiritual caution or obsessive craftsmanship? Museums don't care. They just beg for the technique. Your finished Kamek sole is lopsided, puckered. Panic holds it up. The children giggle. First boot's always ugly, she declares. Then, surprisingly gently, she adds, but see the stitch? She points to one slightly less crooked line near the toe. Here, your breath calmed. Your hand remembered. She rubs seal fat into the leather, darkening it. Ugly boots still carry you home. You flex the stiff sole. It feels alien clumsy. But as Panic ties sinew laces around your calf, a profound sense of belonging settles over you. These boots, flawed and stiff, connect you to the ice, the hunt, the generations of cold toes that walked before. Outside, the aurora bleeds green across the sky. Inside, the bone needle rests. Your hands ache, your eyes burn, but your feet are finally ready for the frozen sea. The culloch S-flame dips low, painting long, dancing shadows. The rhythmic SHHHK thunk echoes in your muscles. Sleep isn't coming. It's already here, wrapped in leather and sinew and spit, humming with the voices of 1,000 Arctic nights. The scent of raw liver hits you first, coppery, rich, and unsettlingly alive. Panic places a glistening, deep purple slab of seal liver onto a clean piece of ice in the center of the Kamek. Around it, elders and children settle, their faces illuminated by the culloch S-soft, golden glow. Asterisk, asterisk, raw liver feast, asterisk, asterisk, Panic announces, her ulu flashing, or your eyes forget the dark. She slices a thin piece, translucent as stained glass, and offers it to you on the tip of her bone knife. It steams faintly in the frigid air. You hesitate. The texture is alien, slick. Panic raises an eyebrow. Afraid? Seal gave its inua, so yours stays strong. You take it. The cold, dense flesh meets your tongue. It tastes like the ocean condensed, briny, metallic, profoundly wild. Chewing is unnecessary. It melts like cold butter, coating your throat with oily warmth that spreads instantly to your fingertips. A surprising vitality floods you, sharpening the shadows cast by the lamp. Mainstream fact asterisk seal liver is a vitamin A bomb. 1 ounce packs 700% of a human's daily need. In an Arctic winter devoid of sunlight, and thus vitamin D synthesis and scarce plant-based vitamin A sources, this organ was literal life insurance against blindness and immune collapse. The ritual of sharing asterisk. Panic slices more pieces, passing them clockwise. Elders first, then hunters, then children. Each recipient murmurs asterisk, Kujinak asterisk before eating. You notice the careful portions, thin slices, no larger than a thumb. Too much. Panic catches your questioning look, makes you sleepy forever, or crazy. She winks. The overdose folklore, presented with dark humor. As the rich liver settles in your stomach, an elder named Siku, Ice, begins a story. His voice is gravelly, like ice grinding on stone. Once, greedy Tuligak stole a whole liver, he rasps. Ate it alone in the dark. He describes the raven growing dizzy, feathers turning orange, seeing double moons. He flew upside down for days, yelling at fish in the sky. Children giggle, hiding faces in mittens. The tale is absurd, terrifying. Tuligak eventually vomits the stolen liver onto the ice, where it becomes the first aurora. See the green. Siku points vaguely upward. Tuligak's sick liver light. The hidden science in the jest asterisk. Modern medicine confirms. Hypervitaminosis A is no joke. Symptoms do include dizziness, blurred vision seeing double moons, skin discoloration, orange feathers, and even intracranial pressure causing headaches, yelling at fish. The sleepy forever part? Liver overdose can cause coma and death. Elders encoded deadly serious warnings into hilarious, memorable tales. Anthropologists debate if this was intentional pedagogy or accidental metaphor. Parents vote for genius. The controversy corner asterisk. As warmth spreads through you, panic points to a boy cautiously nibbling his slice. Children get less, she states. Growing bodies hold poison longer. This sparks low murmurs among the elders. One woman, Kajuk Spider, argues fiercely in ineptitude. Panic translates. She says old ways gave full slices to strong boys. New ways make weak hunters. The debate is heated but respectful. Archaeologists later found evidence supporting both practices across different Inuit groups. Was it regional adaptation or generational stubbornness? Bone chemistry studies remain inconclusive. The unexpected chaser asterisk. After the last liver is consumed, panic hands out small lumps of half-frozen, whipped fat mixed with crowberries, asterisk porngak asterisk. The tart sweet burst cuts through the liver's lingering richness, cleansing the palate. Berries pull the liver shadow from your blood, she claims. Nutritionist nod. Vitamin C in berries aids iron absorption from the liver. Practical magic again. The warmth wave asterisk. You feel it now, a deep, radiating heat, starting in your belly and pulsing outward. It's more potent than the Kulik warmth. Your eyelids feel pleasantly heavy. The elders' faces soften in the lamplight. Their low conversation blends with the wind's moan outside. Panic sees you swaying. Liver sleep comes, she smiles. Good sleep. Dream of deep water. The final nudge into slumber asterisk. Siku starts humming. A low, resonant drone mimicking the ice's groan. Others join, weaving harmonies that seem to vibrate in your bones. It's not a song with words, but a feeling made sound. The vastness of the ice, the sigh of the seal, the patient warmth of the lamp, the raw vitality of the feast, the dark humor of Tuligak's folly, the quiet debate about tradition, it all swirls together in the oily warmth spreading through your veins. The Kulik flame dips lower. The shadows stretch long and dance slowly across the curved ice walls. The humming sinks deeper, becoming the very pulse of the earth beneath the frozen sea. You try to focus on Panic's face, but it blurs. The taste of the ocean, the coppery life force of the seal, the tart kiss of crowberries, they merge into a single sensation. Safety, belonging, exhaustion. You don't fight it. You lean back against the caribou hides, the rough fur soft against your cheek. The elder's humming isn't outside you anymore. It's inside, a gentle current pulling you down into warm, dark water. The ice groans its deep oh-om, but it feels distant now, like a lullaby sung from another room. Kujinak You think, or maybe dream. Thank you. The lamp's golden eye winks once, twice, then dissolves into the welcoming dark. The feast is over. The long night holds you. Sleep isn't coming. It's already here, deep and still and full of silent, swimming shadows. The world dissolves into swirling white. One moment you're following Atata's dark parka, a reassuring smudge against the snow. The next, a savage gust slams into you, thick with ice crystals that sting like frozen bees. Visibility drops to zero. The familiar groans and sighs of the ice are swallowed by a howling void, a sound like angry gods tearing apart the sky. Panic, colder than the wind, claws up your throat. You stagger, disoriented. Atata's form? Gone. The camp? Swallowed. You are utterly, terrifyingly alone inside a roaring white marble. Navigating whiteout begins here, and your first instinct, to scream for help, is silenced by the wind stealing your breath. Mainstream fact * Arctic whiteouts are sensory erasers. Light diffuses equally off ice crystals in all directions, obliterating shadows, horizons, and depth perception. Inuit called it Komanique, the state where one cannot see the way. European explorers died meters from shelter in these conditions. Survival depends on techniques honed over millennia, not panic. The touch becomes your eyes *. Blind and deafened, you force stillness. Fighting the wind wastes energy and heat. You remember Atata's lesson, * when the world hides, feel its skin. * you drop to your knees, mittens scraping the snow. Forget sight, forget sound, feel. Beneath the fresh powder lies older, wind-packed snow, * Pukak *. You scrape it clear with bare fingers, agonizing but necessary. The exposed surface isn't smooth. It's textured. You trace delicate, feathery shapes, intricate stars interlocking. Kaylee *. You whisper into your hood. Wind-blown snow crystals, fragile and beautiful. Meaningless? No. Atata taught you. Kaylee forms perpendicular to the prevailing wind direction, tracing their long axis points, that way, towards the sea ice, away from the relative safety of the landfast ice near camp. Wrong direction. You crawl sideways, probing again. Different texture here. Harder, granular snow, sculpted into miniature, elongated dunes by the gale. Sastrugi, starred. Their sharp ridges point downwind. You need to go upwind to find higher ground, potentially shelter or camp. The wind fights you like a living thing. Every inch feels like a mile. Your fingers burn with cold, then numb. The bizarre navigation tool *. Suddenly, your mittened hand brushes against something unexpected. A low, curved ridge of snow, almost like a miniature igloo wall. You dig frantically. It's not rock. It's compacted snow, sculpted by the wind into a specific, recognizable form. A curved scoop facing away from the prevailing wind. Anyu. Atata's voice echoes in your memory. Snow shaped by wind like a spoon. The deep curve always faces the wind source. Camp laid generally downwind of the hunting grounds. This Anu points the way home. Controversy corner. Glaciologists map snowdrift physics meticulously. Some insist Anu orientation is statistically unreliable. Elders counter. The wind remembers the land. We read its memory. Survival needs no p-value. The whispering snow *. Crawling against the gale, guided by touch and memory, you focus on the snow under your cheek. Close your eyes. Ignore the roar. Feel the vibrations. The ice isn't silent. Deep beneath the screaming wind and the shifting snow, a low, rhythmic thrum resonates through the ground. The heartbeat of the frozen sea itself, transmitted through miles of ice. Camp sits on thicker, more stable shore-fast ice. The thrum feels stronger, steadier there. Out on the thinner pack ice, a higher-pitched, anxious hum. You turn your head, pressing your ear-muffed temple to the snow. Listen past the wind. Thrum, thrum, steady, strong. That way. You adjust your crawl. The hallucination or help? *. Time loses meaning. Fatigue whispers surrender. Just as your limbs feel like blocks of lead, a shape looms in the white dark, low, unmoving. Hope surges. Shelter? You crawl faster. It resolves into the frozen carcass of a small seal, half buried. Despair bites deeper than the cold. But then you see it, a solitary raven perched defiantly on the carcass, feathers plastered with snow. It caws, a sound shredded by the wind. Tuligak? Or just a scavenger? It hops, turns, and flies directly into the wind, vanishing almost instantly into the maelstrom. Ravens, you recall, always fly into the wind for lift and control when landing. They seek shelter, like you. You follow Tuligak's suicidal path, crawling straight into the gale's teeth. The mirage and the miracle asterisk. Minutes, hours later, the wind's pitch changes. Less roar, more shriek. The snow under your hands feels different, harder, smoother, angled. You trace it upwards. An ice block? A pressure ridge? You pull yourself up, squinting against the sting. A faint, dark line appears through the swirling white. Not a seal, not a rock. A low, curved line familiar. The snow block wall of the Kamek. You stumble the last few yards, collapsing against the wind-sheltered lee side. The roar is muted here. The texture under your cheek is compacted snow, deliberately shaped. Home. The entrance hide is flung aside. Strong hands haul you in. Warmth, thick with the smell of seal oil and damp fur, envelopes you. Blinded by the sudden dimness and the Kullik-esque glow, you collapse onto hides. Voices murmur. Atata's low rumble panics sharp tones. Someone peels off your frozen mittens, rubs your hands with snow, then blubber. The pain is excruciating, a sign of life returning. Atata crouches beside you, his face etched with concern and something else. Respect? You found Anu, he states, not asks. You nod weakly and listen to the ice's drum. He places a warm cup of broth in your trembling hands. Good. Tuligak showed you the way. You manage a nod. Atata chuckles, a low, warm sound in the safe, smoky gloom. Ravens love lost things, easier to steal from. Outside, the whiteout still rages, howling its fury against the walls. But inside, the Kullik purrs, the rhythmic shhhk thunk of a bone needle. Sewing nearby, sounds like the gentlest heartbeat. Your raw fingers throb. Your body trembles with exhaustion. But you are found. You navigated the white void not with maps or stars, but with fingertips tracing snow crystals, ears tuned to the ice's hidden song, and a trickster raven's flight. Survival in the blinding white feels less like triumph, and more like finally hearing a whisper you always knew was there. The broth's warm spreads. The storm's roar fades to a distant lullaby. The needle's rhythm pulls you down into a deep, dreamless sleep where snowflakes fall silently, each one a perfect guiding star. The rhythmic panting of the dogs is your wake-up call. Outside the Kamek, dawn paints the snow in shades of lilac and rose. The whiteout has passed, leaving the world scoured clean and glittering. But the peace is shattered by snarling chaos. Two lead dogs, Nanak Polar Bear and Kasky Boss, are locked in a vicious, spinning tangle of fur and snapping teeth, their harnesses hopelessly twisted. Younger dogs bark hysterically, lunging against their lines. Atata stands calmly nearby, arms crossed. Asterisk, asterisk, dog team diplomacy, asterisk, asterisk, he says, nodding at the fray. Your turn. Untangle the pride before they shred each other. Panic flares. These are powerful Greenland dogs, bred for strength and endurance, each weighing as much as you do. Their fight is primal, explosive. Stepping between them feels like suicide. Atata reads your fear. Not with hands, he instructs. With voice. He cups his hand around his mouth and emits a sound unlike anything you've heard, a guttural, rhythmic asterisk, H-U-P-H-U-P-H-U-P-H-R-R-R. Asterisk that cuts through the snarls like a knife. Both dogs instantly freeze mid-lunge, ears swiveling towards him, teeth still bared but silent. Mainstream fact asterisk, Inuit sled dogs, asterisk, Kimiat asterisk, weren't pets. They were essential partners, engines, and early warning systems. A well-trained team could sense thin ice before humans, navigate whiteouts, and pull thousands of pounds. Their social structure was rigidly hierarchical. mirroring human needs for order in the wilderness. The language of low growls, asterisk. You approach cautiously, mimicking a Tata's posture, shoulders squared. Gaze steady, but not challenging. The tangled dogs, Nanak and Kasky, watch you. Kasky, the older lead dog, emits a low, continuous rumble deep in his chest. A sound felt more than heard. Nanak, younger and bulkier, answers with sharp, staccato yaps punctuated by lip curls. Kasky says, asterisk, I am rock. You are wind, asterisk, Adada translates quietly. Nanak says, asterisk, wind breaks rock. Asterisk, stupid wind. You realize the sounds aren't just noise. They're a precise argument about dominance, space, and who gets the prime spot closest to the upcoming seal carcass scraps. The unorthodox piece offering asterisk. Adada hands you a small, greasy bundle wrapped in kelp. Inside, half-frozen seal intestine strips. Tossed to Nanak. Behind him, you fling the strip. It lands with a soft plop in the snow behind the younger dog. Nanak's focus snaps away from Kasky. He scrambles backwards, snatching the treat. Instantly, the tension breaks. Kasky seizes the moment, giving one sharp, commanding woof. Nanak flinches, then lowers his head submissively, chewing rapidly. Distract the challenger. Adada murmurs. Let the boss reassert without blood. Controversy corner. Modern dog trainers frown on food during fights, fearing it rewards aggression. Elders insist it's redirecting the hunger, shifting focus from dominance to survival instinct. Ethologists are chewing on the data. The harness hierarchy asterisk. Untangling them requires understanding their roles. Kasky wears the longest central trace line, the wheeled dog position, setting the pace and direction. Nanak, despite his challenge, is a swing dog behind the leaders, providing power. Each harness, asterisk, Natsik asterisk, is subtly different. Kasky's has extra padding across the chest, a badge of seniority. Nanak's has small bone beads woven into the straps near his flanks. Stops him nipping the dog ahead when bored, Adada explains. The intricate leather and sinew harnesses aren't just tack. They're a physical map of the team's social order, designed to minimize friction and maximize pull. Archaeologists find these harnesses in ancient sites, identical in function for millennia. The P-post protocol asterisk. Once untangled, the dogs need reordering. Kasky resumes his lead position without fuss. Nanak is moved back one spot, but the dog he displaced, a smaller female named Pani, daughter, bristles, baring teeth. Before Nanak can react, Adada guides Pani to the spot where Nanak had been standing. She sniffs intently, then deliberately lifts her leg. A small, steaming yellow arc hits the snow, marking her claim. Adada nods. Now Nanak knows. Her space. The younger male approaches the spot, sniffs Pani's mark, and deliberately steps around it, settling into his new position without protest. Scent, not force, enforce the new order. Zoologists confirm urine marking communicates complex social information in canids. Inuit just applied it to sled logistics. The yoke of connection asterisk. Finally, it's time to hook the main tow line, asterisk Akan asterisk, to the loaded sled, asterisk Kamudiak asterisk. Adada doesn't just clip it on. He walks the line, running his hands over the braided walrus hide, murmuring softly to each dog. He adjusts a trace here, tightens a belly band there. Feel the pull, he tells you, placing your hand on the taut line just behind Kasky. A faint vibration thrums through it, the collective breath and heartbeat of the team. One dog stiff, whole line shudders. One dog lazy, whole line drags. Like family, it's a tangible lesson in interdependence. The dogs aren't slaves, they're partners bound by shared purpose and intricate communication. With a final, resonant asterisk, HUK. Asterisk from Adada. The team surges forward as one. The Kamudiak runners hiss over the snow. The rhythmic panting settles into a steady, powerful cadence. Ha 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 ha. The earlier snarling chaos is replaced by focused harmony. Kasky sets a steady pace, head high. Nanak pulls powerfully, no longer fighting his place. Pani trots contentedly in her reclaimed spot. You walk beside Adada, the cold air sharp in your lungs, the dog's breath plumes in the morning light. The harness leather creaks, a gentle counterpoint to the ha-ha-ha. It's a symphony of survival. Growls turn to cooperation, conflict channeled into shared effort. The vast white landscape stretches ahead, but the sound filling your ears is intimate, alive. The breath of the pack, the whisper of runners, the deep, resonant pulse of the team moving as one. It's not silence, but a profound, rhythmic peace. Your own breathing slows, unconsciously matching the dog's steady, ha-ha-ha. Step, pull, breathe. The frozen world holds its breath with you. The path forward is clear, the team strong, the rhythm deep. The only thing left to do is move, together, into the glittering, silent dawn. The rhythmic ha-ha-ha of the dog team fades as you approach the camp's edge. Instead, a different sound fills the crisp air. High-pitched shrieks of laughter and the soft thump-thump-thump of compacting snow. A group of children, bundled into colorful mismatched parkas, are feverishly piling snow into a lopsided mound. Peacock spots you and beams, waving a mitten nearly as big as his head. Asterisk, asterisk, children's snow games, asterisk, asterisk, he yells. Help us build a Nuxigak. He's missing an arm. You join the chaos. The snow isn't the light, fluffy kind. It's wind-hardened Pukak, gritty and stubborn. Little Niviak girl, cheeks flushed crimson, is meticulously shaping a snow block with a miniature bone scraper. This is Tuligak's beak, she declares, patting the awkward protrusion on the snowman's face. He stole Auntie's Ulu. The sculpture is less a traditional snowman, more a chaotic snow monster, with seal flippers for ears and pebble eyes. Mainstream fact asterisk Inuit childhood wasn't idyllic play. It was apprenticeship for survival. Games honed essential skills, observation, dexterity, endurance, and cultural memory, disguised as fun. European missionaries often mislabeled these as primitive pastimes, missing the profound pedagogy. The Memory Snowman Challenge asterisk. Peacock explains the rules of a Nuxigak Pitsiarnik, building a person story. We build someone important, he puffs, struggling with a heavy snow block for the torso. But wrong. The goal isn't accuracy. It's to deliberately include absurd mistakes the others must spot. Niviak points accusingly at Peacock's section. Uncle Siku doesn't have 3 legs, and he doesn't carry a ptarmigan. Peacock had stuck a feather in the snowman's mitten hand. He carries his harpoon. Always. Peacock grins, yanking a feather out. You remembered. Now your turn messes up. The stakes are high and cold. The loser, whoever fails to spot the most errors, faces the dreaded Kazurmit Asavak, journey of words. They must stand before the elders and recite 3 generations of their family lineage, including key exploits. Asterisk my great-grandmother, Panic, survived the great blizzard of many moons by sewing her children into a walrus hide asterisk. Forgetfulness earns gentle corrections and extra chores like hauling ice chips. Historians debate. Was this oral history reinforcement or subtle shaming? Grandparents vote for love. The physics of fun asterisk. A smaller group nearby plays Kagik Tukturiarnek, igloo target. They roll balls of wet snow asterisk Anu asterisk along a smooth ice track, aiming to knock down tiny ice block igloos at the end. But there's a twist. The track curves slightly. Spin it like this, instructs a girl named Siku, demonstrating a wrist flick that sends her snowball curving magically around the bend to smack the target. It's Arctic mini-golf teaching angular momentum and friction control. Materials scientists marvel at kids intuitively understanding snow cohesion variations. The controversial cuteness asterisk. You notice toddlers playing with peculiar rattles, dried seal toe bones strung on sinew, filled with tiny pebbles. They shake them, giggling at the soft click-click-click. Adatus sees your interest, teaches wrist strength for harpoon throwing, he states. But then he adds, grinning, also sounds scare away Idrit. Asterisk jire asterisk, little hidden people, mischievous, steal unattended babies. Modern psychologists see animistic belief. Anthropologists see genius. A scary story ensuring toddlers stay within earshot. The debate is as old as the hills or ice domes. The snowball arithmetic asterisk. Older boys practice a putniviksuktik, snow that counts. They stand back to back, each quickly forming identical-sized snowballs. At a signal, they whirl and hurl them at a distant walrus tusk stuck upright in the snow. Count how many hit. Peacock shouts. But it's not just accuracy. At explains. Snowballs must be same size. Wind speed? Add one step closer. Sun melting? Pack harder. It's applied ballistics and environmental calculus disguised as a snowball fight. Educators weep over modern math anxiety. The grandmother's gaze asterisk. From the doorway of a kamek, elder Inuja watches, her hands busy twisting sinew. She doesn't intervene in the chaotic building or the snowball counts. But when Niviak struggles to lift a heavy block, Inuja hums a specific, low tune, a work song. Instinctively, the other children join in, their rhythm syncing as they collectively heave the block into place. Songs carry strength. Inuja murmurs to you later, her needle never pausing. Better than shouting. The loss and the lesson asterisk. The judging commences. Peacock's snow uncle Siku has 3 legs, carries a ptarmigan feather harpoon, and wears a mitten on his ear. Niviak spots all errors triumphantly. Peacock groans. Mukazermit Asavak, the children chant. He stands before Inuja, shuffling his feet. My great-grandfather, Adatatsiak. He stumbles over names and dates. Inuja prompts gently. He walked with the caribou. Peacock's eyes light up. Yes, he walked so far, his kamek sang to the stars. It's embellished, poetic, not strictly accurate. Inuja smiles. Good. The walk matters more than the miles. The winter sun, low and weak, casts long blue shadows. The children abandon their lopsided inuxigak. Snowballs lie forgotten, but the skills linger. The feel of wind-hardened snow, the curve of a thrown ball, the rhythm of a shared song, the weave of family names. Niviak plops down beside you, leaning her small, warm weight against your arm. Her breathing slows, matching the gentle shhhk thunk of Inuja's needle across the way. The camp settles into the soft, busy quiet of late afternoon. The flawed snowman watches over the scene. Tulagak's beak askew, a silent guardian of mistakes turned into memory. The cold air holds the echo of laughter, the scent of snow, and the deep, slow pulse of generations learning the ice, one game at a time. Your own breath steadies. The world shrinks to the warmth of a child against your side, the rhythmic sewing, and the long, lavender shadows stretching across the snow. The games are over. The learning sleeps, waiting for tomorrow's light. Dusk bleeds into the kamek, thickening the shadows. The children's laughter fades, replaced by a low, rhythmic scrape, scrape, scrape. Near the Kulik, elder Ujarik kneels, his gnarled hands moving methodically over Atata's harpoon. A slick sheen of warm seal blubber coats the ivory head, catching the lamplight like liquid gold. The air hums with quiet intensity. Peacock tugged your sleeve, whispering, asterisk, asterisk spirit of the harpoon, asterisk, asterisk time. Don't blink. Sometimes the carvings move. You crouch beside Ujarik. The harpoon, asterisk, nukak, asterisk, is no mere tool. It's a landscape of ivory. Intricate spirals coil around the base, intersecting with precise lines and tiny drilled dots. Ujarik dips a ptarmigan feather quill into a mix of charcoal and fish glue, carefully retracing faded patterns. Every scratch is a word, he murmurs. Every dot a breath. Mainstream fact, asterisk, Inuit harpoons were modular masterpieces. Detachable heads, floats, and drag lines allowed hunters to recover seals that dove. Museum labels call them hunting technology, but elders call them asterisk, tupelate asterisk, spirit containers. The blubber baptism asterisk. Ujarik rubs blubber deep into the ivory's pores. Feeds the Inua inside, he states. As the fat soaks in, the carvings seem to deepen, spirals swirling like miniature whirlpools. He then breathes softly onto the blade, fogging the cold surface. Your warmth wakes it. Controversy alert. Conservators panic at organic materials on artifacts. Elders insist blubber prevents ivory from cracking in dry air. Science reluctantly agrees. Lipids and blubber act as natural polymers. The bizarre soul catcher, asterisk. Ujjarak rotates the harpoon, revealing a tiny cavity drilled beneath the main blade, no larger than a pea. He inserts a minuscule roll of dried moss and ptarmigan down. Seal's Inua rests here after the strike, he explains. Soft bed for a tired spirit. If omitted, angry spirit follows you home, brings bad ice, sick dogs. Ethnographers documented these cavities but dismissed them as weight reduction. Modern CT scans show moss remnants in ancient harpoon heads. Coincidence or spiritual engineering? The Great Carving Controversy asterisk. Ujjarak traces a cluster of dots connected by fine lines. This is seeker soot, he says, the star cluster Pleiades. When dots shine bright in winter sky, seals sleep shallow. But then he traces a meandering line. And this? The coastline near Igloolik. You stare. The carvings are both star chart and topographic map. At joins, pointing to jagged etchings near the grip. Pressure ridges, where Nanak hides. Scholars rage. Are these navigational aids, spiritual symbols, or hunting records? Ujjarak chuckles. All. Harpoon remembers what hunters forget. The living weapon asterisk. Finished. Ujjarak balances the harpoon horizontally on one fingertip. It stays perfectly level. Good balance means honest spirit, he nods. He then holds it vertically, tapping the butt end against the ice floor. A clear, resonant ting vibrates through the kamak. Hear that? Happy Inua. Atada's old harpoon, neglected, emits a dull thud. Lonely spirit, Ujjarak frowns. Material scientists note, ivory's crystalline structure changes with age and treatment. Acoustics as spirit diagnostics. The lab stays silent. The nightly negotiation asterisk. Adada takes his anointed harpoon. He doesn't store it. He presents it, laying it across two forked antlers near the entrance, blade pointing outward. Listens to the night. Peacock whispers. Warns of bad weather. You watch as shadows dance along the carvings. The Pleiades dots seem to flicker in the lamplight. The coastline etchings deepen into miniature valleys. Is it the oil? The warmth? Your tired eyes? Ujjarak sees your doubt. He picks up a simple practice harpoon, bare ivory uncarved. He breathes on it, oils it, taps it. Thud. Lifeless. Then he places it beside Atada's. The difference is palpable. One hums with silent purpose. The other lies inert as stone. Stories give it breath, Ujjarak says simply. No stories? Just dead tooth. Outside, the wind rises, whistling through the smoke hole. The decorated harpoon trembles, faintly on its antler cradle. Adada smiles. Hear that? Inua singing back to the storm. You strain your ears. Beyond the wind's howl, a faint harmonic hum seems to emanate from the ivory, a sound like ice vibrating underfoot. The Kullik S-flame dips low. Ujjarak wraps the blubber rag, his ritual complete. The harpoon rests, a silent sentinel etched with stars, coastlines, and unseen doors for traveling spirits. Its presence fills the dim space, not threatening, but alive. Adada stretches out on his furs, eyes already closing. Sleep well, he murmurs. The harpoon keeps watch tonight. You lie back. The storm's voice fades. The only sounds now are the soft drip-drip of melting ice near the lamp and that faint, almost imagined hum from the antler cradle. You close your eyes. The carvings flash behind your lids, spirals becoming waves, dots becoming stars, lines becoming paths across the frozen sea. The boundary between tool and talisman blurs. The harpoon spirit doesn't guard the door. It guards the edge of your dreams, where the ice meets the infinite dark. The hum sinks into your bones, a lullaby older than memory. Outside, the wind sighs. Inside, the ivory sings. Sleep isn't watching. It's listening. The harpoon's hum fades into a deeper silence, the kind only thick ice and fresh snow bring. Adada nudges you awake before dawn, pressing a coiled sinew line into your hands. Storm carved new doors, he whispers. Outside, the blizzard has sculpted the pressure ridge into a jagged cathedral. A fissure yawns at its base, leading into blue gloom. Asterisk, asterisk, echoes in ice tunnels, asterisk, asterisk. Ada murmurs, crawling inside. You follow, the ice swallowing you whole. The tunnel is tighter than a whale's ribcage. Your shoulders scrape both walls. Cold seeps through your parka, sharp and pure. Light filters weakly through the ice above, refracting into liquid sapphire shadows. Ada pauses, placing your palm flat against the tunnel wall. Listen with your bones, he breathes. You feel it, a faint, rhythmic thump, 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 vibrating through the ice. Arctic char, he grins, drumming their tails. Mainstream fact, asterisk, Inuit ice fishing wasn't just holes and lines. They exploited natural ice caves formed by tidal shifts and freshwater seeps. Nature's ready-made fish larders. Fish congregated here for oxygen and warmth, unaware they were on the menu. The bizarre lure asterisk. Ada unspools his line. Instead of bait, he ties a small, dried bladder, pufferfish skin, inflated like a tiny, ghostly balloon. He dips it in a paste of crushed krill and fermented crowberries. Char thinks a struggling jellyfish, he explains. You mimic him, wrinkling your nose at the sour-sweet stench. Lowered into an ink-black meltwater pool, the bladder bobs erratically. Almost instantly, a shadow darts. Your line jerks. You pull too fast. The fish slips free. Patience, Ada chides. Let it sing. The whisper network asterisk. Ada leans close to the ice wall, lips nearly touching its slick surface. He hums, a low resonant that shivers through the tunnel. The sound amplifies, bouncing off curved walls, deepening into a submarine gong. From the pool, bubbles rise. Asterisk blup, blup, blup. Asterisk Char talk to the hum. Ada whispers. They come to see who sings. Controversy alert. Marine biologists argue fish detect vibrations, but don't respond to song. Elders counter. Try humming Gilligan's Island and see if they bite. The echo encryption asterisk. A splash. Atada's line goes taut. He doesn't reel yet. Instead, he taps the ice wall with a caribou knuckle. Asterisk tap 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 pause tap star. The pattern echoes down the tunnel like Morse code. Moments later, Peacock's voice reverberates from a side passage. Asterisk took, asterisk pull. Ada heaves. A fat char, silver-flanked and thrashing, erupts onto the ice. Sound travels faster through ice than air. Ada pants. Like shouting through a mountain. Scholars debate. Was this planned communication or happy accident? Ice core acoustic studies remain inconclusive. The fish's fatal curiosity asterisk. You try the hum. Your wobbles amateurish. Yet bubbles rise again, closer this time. You lower your bloated bladder lure. A char noses it, swirling cautiously. Remembering Atada's lesson, you tap the wall, an improvised rhythm. Shave and a haircut. From somewhere deep, Peacock's giggle echoes back. The char darts away, then returns, drawn by the vibration's novelty. You yank. The hook sets. Muscle memory kicks in, play the line. Let it run, tire the spirit. The char fights, its struggles amplified by the tunnel into a thunderous thrashing. The unexpected orchestra asterisk. 3 char later, the tunnel fills with sound. Dripping meltwater plinks like a xylophone. Shifting ice groans bass notes. Your breaths rasp like percussion. Peacock hums a tuneless song from his niche, its echoes overlapping Atada's tapping in eerie harmony. You realize this isn't fishing. It's a concert where vibrations lure prey and hunters conduct the symphony. Ethnomusicologists would have a field day. Elders would shrug, just talking to the water. The cold truth asterisk. As you gut the char, Ada points to its stomach. Inside, undigested bladderfish and krill. See? They ate the song. He saves the fresh bladders for tomorrow's lures. The discarded guts steam in the frigid air, attracting a bold ivory gull that swoops into the tunnel's mouth. Tulagak spy. Ada laughs, tossing it a scrap. Outside, dawn bleeds gold across the ice fields. You crawl from the tunnel, blinking in the sudden light. The silence feels deafening after the resonant blue gloom. Ada slings the char on a sinew line, their scales catching the sun like shattered rainbows. The tunnel behind you sighs. A long, low as ice adjusts to daylight. Inside the hammock, panic fries char in rendered seal fat. The smell is clean, oceanic. You bite into crisp skin, the flesh flaky and sweet. Every chew echoes the tunnel's rhythms, the hum, the tap, the victorious splash. The ice's song lingers in your bones, a vibration beneath the taste of salt and survival. The Kulak's flame flickers, casting dancing fish-shaped shadows on the wall. Outside, the wind starts its own tune, whistling across the pressure ridge. But inside, full-bellied and warm, the only sound you hear is the deep, steady pulse of your own heart, finally syncing with the ice's ancient, echoing beat. Sleep isn't silence. It's the last, lingering note of the tunnel song, humming you into the dark. The perpetual twilight of deep winter presses down like a lead blanket. Days blur into weeks of charcoal gray skies, broken only by the ghostly shimmer of the aurora. A suffocating lethargy seeps into the hammock. Children stare listlessly at the Kulak flame. Adults move with the heavy slowness of sleepwalkers. Even the dogs' tails wag half-heartedly. Elder Siku slams his mittened hand onto an ice block table, making the blubber lamps jump. Enough, he rasps. This gloom tastes worse than rotten whale. Time for the laughing contest. Groans answer him. Peacock buries his face in a caribou hide. Can't laugh, he mumbles. Face froze that way last Tuesday. Siku hauls him upright, then unfrees it. Winner gets first pick of tomorrow's char liver. Mainstream fact, * seasonal affective disorder, SAD, plagued Arctic winters long before the term existed. Inuit communities developed communal coping mechanisms, games, storytelling, and ritualized absurdity to combat the psychological weight of endless night. The bizarre rules *. Siku stands in the center, illuminated by 3 Kulak lamps arranged like footlights. Rule 1, no real laughs allowed. Only fake seal laughs. He demonstrates. * honk snort. Hunk gurgle. * a sound like a walrus choking on a squid. Rule 2, if you smile for real, you lose. Rule 3, last one honking wins. The contestant's catalog of misery *. Adada goes first. His attempt *, MMMPH grunt, HNNNGH, *, resembles a constipated bear. Children exchange worried glances. Panic counters with a startlingly accurate eat gargle. Female seal defending her pup. It's so biologically precise. 2 dogs howl in confusion. Peacock tries a juvenile seal's hungry * weep weep. * but snorts mid-honk, triggering genuine giggles. Ow. Siku bellows. Your face betrayed you. You channel a fat, contented walrus. Blurp glub *. Siku nods approval. Good blubber resonance. The dark horse *. Elder Inuja, usually silent as stone, shuffles forward. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and unleashes. Escare. Crackle ***, pop ***, hiss ***. Silence. Then Adada whispers, horrified. That's leopard seal. The sound is pure predatory menace. The rasp of ice shards. The hiss of escaping air. The scream of something that enjoys pain. Children instinctively huddle closer. Dogs whimper. Even the Kulak flames flicker nervously. The science behind the silliness *. Laughter, even forced, floods the brain with dopamine and endorphins. It lowers cortisol, boosts immunity, and literally rewires stress pathways. But here's the weird bit. Inuit elders insisted specific animal impersonations targeted different dark moods. Seal giggles, * honk snort, * ease sadness. Walrus chortles, * blurp glub, * fought fatigue. Leopard seal screeches, * escarpment crackle pop, * for rage. Neuroscientists now note, embodying animal vocalizations requires intense focus, forcibly breaking depressive thought loops. The controversial winner *. Inuja's leopard seal onslaught continues. Skare, GNASH hisses, panic covers her ears. A child starts crying. Siku finally raises a hand. Enough. You win. Inuja opens her eyes, serene. Good. Now the bad air is torn apart. And strangely, it is. The oppressive gloom feels pierced, scattered by the sheer sonic violence. Nervous titters ripple through the group, real ones this time. The unlikely aftermath asterisk. Inuja claims her prize, not the char liver, but Siku's best storytelling seal tooth. For making bad spirits flee, she states. Then she does something astonishing. A tiny, genuine smile cracks her weathered face. It's like watching ice calve from a glacier. Peacock points, gasping. She smiled. She loses her own contest. Chaos erupts. Arguments about rule technicalities. Asterisk, intentional smiles disqualify. Accidental ones are sacred. Asterisk, exaggerated seal honks. And finally, uncontrollable real laughter. Deep, belly-shaking roars that shake the gamut. Dogs join in with confused howls. The Kullik flames dance wildly. The historians, head-scratcher asterisk. Anthropologists found carved ivory laughter masks depicting distorted seal and walrus faces in ancient Thule sites. Were they ritual objects? Theater props? Elders interviewed in the 1970s called them medicine for the long dark. Psychiatrists published papers on forced laughter therapy in 2010. Coincidence? Or did modern science rediscover Arctic wisdom? The journals remain amused. You lean against the ice wall, ribs aching from laughter. Tears freeze on your cheeks. The heavy darkness outside feels less like a prison now, more like a curtain waiting to be pulled back by the next absurd honk snort. Adada wheezes beside you, wiping his eyes. Tulagak's right, he chuckles. Sometimes you gotta laugh like a demon, to remember you're human. The contest ends not with a winner's declaration, but with exhausted, contented silence. Real smiles linger on faces that had forgotten how. The Kullik warm light feels softer, kinder. Outside, the wind still moans across the ice. But inside, the air is lighter, scented with seal oil and the lingering echo of shared, ridiculous joy. The long night hasn't changed, but the people within it have. You close your eyes, the phantom asterisk, Eskari. Asterisk of Inuja's leopard seal still ringing in your ears, a fierce, funny lullaby against the endless dark. Sleep comes not as an escape, but as a deep, smiling sigh into the warm, communal safety of a lamplit dome. The laughter's warmth still glows in your belly as you step outside. The cold slaps you awake, a brutal, beautiful clarity. Above, the aurora bleeds across the sky, ribbons of emerald and violet twisting like living smoke. Adada spreads a thick caribou hide on the snow and lies down, patting the space beside him. Asterisk, asterisk, star myths on ice asterisk, asterisk, he murmurs. Time to meet the sky roads. You lie back. The ice groans softly beneath you, a deep counterpoint to the crackling, hissing lights above. Forget your bear and scorpion, Adada scoffs. Our stars are paths. He points to a cluster of 3 bright stars forming a slight curve. Asterisk Seeker Soot star. The Pleiades? To us, Tukterjut, the caribou crossing. He traces an imaginary line through them, arcing downward. See how they point to that dark patch in the Milky Way? That's Teriaxic, the Shadow River. Ancestors paddled their kajak there after death. Mainstream fact asterisk Inuit astronomy focused intensely on practical navigation and seasonal markers. Unlike Greco-Roman constellations depicting myths, Inuit star patterns, asterisk Ugarit asterisk, mapped coastlines, migration routes, and ocean currents visible only to those who knew how to read the sky's wrinkles. The navigator's code asterisk. Atada's finger sweeps east. There, Kingulik. Orion's belt to you. To us, Siku at Killikt, where ice piles high. The 3 stars align with jagged coastal mountains on the horizon. When Kingulik touches those peaks at dusk, it's time to hunt ringed seal pups. Their fat is sweetest then. You realize this isn't mythology. It's a celestial almanac etched in light. The bizarre star sound asterisk. Suddenly, Adada cups his hands around his mouth and emits a low, vibrating hum toward Vega, Aluriak, the razor star. The hum echoes oddly off the snow. Calling the stars echo, he grins. On still nights it answers. You try. Your hum disappears into the vastness. But Atada's? A faint, almost metallic ping seems to bounce back. Controversy Corner. Physicists blame temperature inversions, refracting sound. Elders insist stars have voices only hunters attuned to silence can hear. Audio recordings remain tantalizingly ambiguous. The lost constellation asterisk. Ada points to a seemingly empty patch of sky near Cassiopeia. There, Kimiat Tukterjut, the sled dog trail. For stars gone now. He describes how, generations ago, a great shaman angered the sky spirits. They blew out the stars like lamp wicks. Modern astronomers confirm a supernova visible in 1054 AD, creating the Crab Nebula, likely outshone surrounding stars, making this trail invisible for decades. Was its disappearance cosmic coincidence or divine punishment? Sky watchers still argue. The controversy burning below asterisk. As you trace the Caribou Crossing, voices drift from a nearby Kamek. Panic and Siku are debating fiercely. Panic, asterisk Teriaxic asterisk, is a river of spirits. We hear their paddles in the ice. Siku, nonsense. It's a dark nebula, dust blocking starlight. Useful for finding north, not ghosts. Their argument fades as wind gusts. Ada sighs. Young love the stars' light. Old love their shadows. Both get cold arguing. The aurora's secret name, asterisk. The northern lights intensify, swirling like liquid jade. Ada lowers his voice. Never point at them. Call them Oxarniat, the sky dancers. Pointing attracts their scissors. Scissors? They snip off careless fingers. He tucks his mittens firmly under his arms. Dark humor aside, frostbite was a real risk during mesmerized stargazing. The scissors, myth ensured people kept moving. The star that is an asterisk. Ada nods toward the horizon. See that flickering star? Reddish? Low. You squint. It pulses erratically. Asterisk Yukiak Takterjuk asterisk. The liar. It's Jupiter. It wanders. Tricks hunters who use it to steer. Never trust a wanderer. Inuit astronomy prioritized fixed stars over planets for navigation long before Galileo's telescope. Wandering planets were deceitful nomads. The ultimate test, asterisk. Ada sits up, suddenly serious. He scoops fresh snow into a bowl, smooths its surface, and hands you a narwhal tusk fragment. Draw the way home. You hesitate, then sketch the coast. A bay here, a headland there. He shakes his head. Not land. He guides your hand to draw stars instead. Kingulik here, Tukterjut there, Aluriak as the turning point. Land shifts with ice and snow. Stars? Their paths are true. The map is a constellation of star positions relative to landmarks. Cartographers weep at its elegant precision. A shooting star blazes overhead. A brief, silver tear across the dark. Asterisk a Nurnik asterisk, Ada whispers. A soul passing. He tosses a handful of snow into the air. Speed its journey. The snow crystals catch the aurora's light, becoming 1,000 falling diamonds. You lie back again. The cold seeps through the hide, grounding you. The sky isn't a dome above. It's a vast, icy sea mirrored below. The stars aren't distant suns. They are campfires of ancestors. Sea marks in an ocean of darkness. The aurora's hiss blends with the ice's groan. Seeker soot glitters, not seven sisters, but caribou wading through the Milky Way's frozen river. Atada's breathing slows beside you. The sky dancers whirl in silent, emerald ecstasy. Your eyelids grow heavy. The stars don't fade, they swim, their light dissolving into the rhythm of the ice beneath you, the deep thrum of the frozen sea, the slow sigh of 1,000-year-old sky road stretching into dreams. The cold isn't an enemy. It's the ink in which the cosmos writes its oldest stories. You close your eyes. The stars don't vanish. They simply move inside, mapping constellations on the dark ceiling of your mind, guiding you home through the long, beautiful night. The stars still swim behind your eyelids when Ada shakes you awake. Time to sweat out the sky chill, he grins, handing you a scrap of caribou hide. Outside, the cold bites like razors. A brutal minus 50 degrees Celsius that freezes your eyelashes shut until you blink them free with tears. Ahead, a low dome of snow blocks glows faintly crimson at its base. You crawl through a narrow tunnel, and bam, heat slams into you like a physical blow. Humid, herbal-scented air scalds your lungs. You gasp, shedding parkas in frantic haste. Around the central fire pit, elders sit naked and glistening, their skin flushed lobster red. Siku ladles water over volcanic rocks with a caribou antler dipper. Hisses, steam erupts, swallowing the dome in a thick, perfumed fog. Sweat Lodge paradox begins, from deep freeze to sauna in 3 breaths. Mainstream fact asterisk Inuit Kagik, sweat lodges, weren't mere baths. They were ritualized thermal therapy. Stones heated for hours in blubber-fed fires could hit 800 degrees Celsius, creating plus 40 degrees Celsius microclimates inside ice domes. Colonial doctors later documented miraculous recoveries from joint pain after these sessions. The thermal tango asterisk. Your body rebels. Feet, still ice blocks. Face, boiling. You press bare palms to the frozen floor. Instant relief, like touching sanity. Siku chuckles. Dance with the heat. He demonstrates. Stretch toward steam. Inhale scorching air. Collapse onto ice. Exhale relief. Blood learns to flow fast. Modern sports science confirms. Rapid vasoconstriction/vasodilation boosts circulation. Arctic Olympians still use this contrast therapy. The bizarre brain hack asterisk. Siku tosses handfuls of crushed leaves onto the rocks. Asterisk 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 PFFFZZT. Asterisk 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 a sharp minty camphor scent explodes. Asterisk a jungwack asterisk, he says. Arctic bearberry confuses the cold demons in your bones. You inhale deeply. Your racing heart slows. The burning sensation softens into warmth. Neuroscience later identified lidol in the leaves, a compound that briefly inhibits pain receptors. Elders called it steam medicine. The great aging debate asterisk. As sweat rivers down your spine, panic argues with Ujjarak. Panic. My grandmother sweated weekly, lived to see 90 winters. Ujjarak slaps his knee, a wet thwack. Your grandfather skipped lodges, died strong at 50. Scholars rage. Does thermal stress strengthen cardiovascular resilience or accelerate tissue damage? Bone analyses of ancient Inuit show both patterns. The only consensus? Frozen people don't argue about wrinkles. The ghost in the steam asterisk. In the swirling fog, shapes form, a prowling bear, a dancing seal. Spirits visit warm places, murmurs Inuja. Siku scoffs. Just tired eyes. But then, a shadow detaches itself. A lean, gray wolf materializes near the rocks. It yawns, showing teeth, then dissolves. Everyone falls silent. Later, Peacock whispers. That's Amarok, the lone wolf. He tests courage in the steam. Sleep researchers might call it hypnagogia. Elders call it truth. The exit ritual asterisk. After 3 steam rounds, Siku points to the tunnel. Now asterisk run asterisk. You burst into the night. Minus 50 degrees Celsius, air feels like liquid nitrogen. Every pore screams. Then euphoria. Your skin tingles alive. Blood sings in your ears. You roll naked in powder snow, laughing hysterically. Seals the heat inside. Adada pants beside you, already sprinting back to the lodge. Thermograms show this madness traps a 37 degrees Celsius thermal bubble around the body for minutes. The paradox unpacked asterisk. Back in the inferno, your muscles feel like warm honey. Even Ujjarak's arthritic fingers uncurl. Heat stretches time, sighs panic. Outside, minutes felt like hours. Inside, hours feel like minutes. Psychologists confirm, extreme sensory shifts distort time perception. 4 hunters facing endless winter. This temporal warp was soul medicine. The last steam asterisk. Siku pours the final dipper. This water holds dissolved salt from a seabird's gland. FZZZ crack, the rocks fracture, releasing briny ozone. Ocean's breath, Inuja chants. You breathe deep. Salt stings your tongue, but fatigue evaporates. Elders claimed this purified the spirit. Microbiologists found salt steam killed nasal pathogens. Both celebrated fewer winter colds. As you crawl out, your body hums, a tuned instrument. The cold still bites, but your core radiates stored heat like a bank furnace. Ada throws a parka over your shoulders. Feel it? The lodge lives under your skin now. Inside the hammock, the Kulak's flame seems brighter. Your muscles are liquid, your mind clear and quiet. The elder's murmurs blend with the steam's phantom hiss still echoing in your ears. You lie down, the caribou fur's impossibly soft. The thermal dance, scorch and freeze, expansion and contraction, replays in your slowing pulse. Outside, the aurora flickers green. Inside, your blood remembers the heat, your skin remembers the snow, and the long night folds around you like a warm stone held against the infinite cold. Sleep doesn't descend. It rises from your bones, a deep, radiant tide carrying you into dreams of fire and ice, perfectly balanced at last. Dawn bleeds pale gold through the smoke hole, dusting the hammock in soft light. The sweat lodge's fierce heat still lingers in your muscles, a deep banked warmth against the morning chill. Around the Kulak, elders and hunters huddle over steaming bowls of seal stew, but no one eats yet. Silence hangs thick, broken only by the drip-drip of melting ice. Panic places a bowl of rendered fat in the center. ***, dream sharing circle ***, she announces, dipping her finger to draw a spiral on the ice floor. Speak your night journeys. First dreams taste strongest. Ada begins. His voice is rough with sleep. I walked on the moon, he murmurs. Not rock, ***snowstar. Soft as eiderdown. Tulagak flew beside me, but his feathers were lichen. Siku snorts. Moon snow means easy hunting. Lichen feathers means your new mittens itch. Laughter ripples. Dreams aren't private here. They're communal property, open for interpretation like a map scratched on ice. Mainstream fact * Inuit Unikangit dream sharing was psychological triage in a high-stress environment. Dreams revealed hidden fears, predicted weather, or guided hunts. Freud would have needed extra notebooks. The seal cloud omen *. Young Niviak speaks next, shyly twisting a caribou tuft. A baby seal nibbled my braid. Then it floated up became a fat cloud. She mimics its puffball shape with her hands. The circle falls utterly silent. Panic inhales sharply. *Pitsiolak, *, good sign. Seal clouds mean gentle ice and full nets. Controversy corner. Meteorologists note cumulus clouds do resemble seals. Elders insist the dream shapes the day. Skeptics call it confirmation bias. The camp prepares fishing gear without debate. The bizarre breakfast decoder *. Peacock recounts battling a giant lemmings riding ptarmigans. They threw blueberries. Ujeric strokes his chin. Ptarmigans mean gossip. Blueberries? Someone hides a sour mood. He glares pointedly at Siku, who's been scowling at his stew. Siku flushes. My knee aches. Not sour. Peacock's dream is filed as social weather report. Now it's your turn. You dreamt of singing ice, a haunting melody vibrating through the flows. You stood on the ice. Ada asks intently. You nod. And it held you? Another nod. He smiles. Ice trusts you. Good for new hunters. But panic frowns. Singing ice before a storm? Did it sound like? She hums two notes. One low and long, ***, one sharp, ***crack, ***. You nod again. Her face tightens. Storm song. Seal now, fish fast. The circle disperses instantly, breakfast abandoned. The neuroscientist's nightmare *. As you rig fishing lines, Ada explains the rules. Recurring dreams, spirits knocking. Listen or they shout. Falling dreams, not fear, your tarnic soul traveling too far. Eat more liver. Teeth falling out, worry about your knots. Retie your tools. Studies show trauma survivors often have falling/dental dreams. Inuit redirected the anxiety toward practical checks, knots, gear, nutrition. Was it spiritual or the world's first cognitive behavioral therapy? Journals are tangled. The forgotten fish *. Out on the ice, drilling holes, Peacock whispers. Last moon, I dreamt Siku's harpoon sank. Next day, He did lose it chasing a walrus. Coincidence? Peacock shrugs. Dreams are nets catching tomorrow's fish. You drop your line. Below, char swarm, drawn by the early light. Panic was right. The singing ice storm hasn't hit. Yet. The circle closes asterisk. At dusk, laden with fish, the circle reforms. Siku speaks last, uncharacteristically soft. I dreamt my first dog, Kimmick, licking salt from my cheek. A collective sigh. Kimmick died 5 winters ago. Inujit touches Siku's arm. Salt tears dry. Kimmick says your grief light warms him still. Siku's shoulders loosen, a burden shifted. The unanswered question asterisk. As the color dims, Adada murmurs the core truth. Dreams shared lose their fangs. Alone they eat you from inside. Psychologists confirm. Verbalizing dreams reduces emotional intensity. Elders just added polar bears and singing ice. You lie back, stomach full of char, mind adrift. Niviak's seal cloud floats behind your eyelids. Peacock's battle lemmings march in silly circles. The storm song hums softly in your bones, no longer a warning, just a lullaby. The dream circle wasn't about prophecy. It was about weaving the night's chaos into the day's shared purpose, stitching fears into stories, loneliness into community. Outside, the wind rises, whispering through the ice. Inside, breaths deepen, sinking. The last thing you hear is panic humming Siku's 2-note storm song. Asterisk, crack asterisk. Soften now into a gentle rhythm, rocking the kamek into the watchful, dreamless dark. The dream circle's warmth still lingers when you step into the pre-dawn gloom. Frost feathers the air with every breath. You're checking seal nets near a pressure ridge when a flash of crimson catches your eye, a tiny lump half buried in snow. Brushing ice away reveals a songbird, frozen stiff as a berry, its fiery plumage dulled to rust. A stray summer visitor, blown hopelessly off course. As you cradle it, Peacock gasps. Asterisk, 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 Chiriganiac. Asterisk, 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 little sky dancer. His shout draws the camp. The lost songbird ignites instant debate. Panic whisks the bird into a parka, rubbing its chest with blubber-warmed hands. Its heart flutters, like a trapped moth. Siku blocks her path to the kamek. No, he rumbles. Let the sky take its child. Mainstream fact asterisk migratory birds, like this redpoll, occasionally perished in early Arctic storms. Inuit viewed them as seasonal markers, sky's calendar. But saving them? Unprecedented. Colonial naturalists later documented 19th century Inuit saving stranded birds, baffling Victorian survival of the fittest dogma. The ethics of a thimble-sized heart asterisk. Panic argues fiercely by the kullik, the bird cupped in her palms. It sang for us in the thaw. Should we not sing for it now? She drips melted snow mixed with crushed crowberry onto its beak. A tiny tongue flicks. Siku counters. Feed one? 10 more come, expecting crumbs. Then starve. He invokes Pinga, spirit governing wildlife balance. Life feeds life. This one feeds the fox. That is the way. The quirkiest lifeline asterisk. Ujaric emerges with a dried lichen pouch. Inside, maggots. Saved from last caribou liver, he shrugs. Bird food. He places a wriggling larva near the bird's beak. It swallows weakly. Elders murmur. Feeding wild birds was taboo, lest they become dependent. But Ujaric grins. Maggots owe us for the warm liver. Now they pay the bird. Balance. Entomologists confirm fly larvae are calorie bombs. Elders pioneered ethical protein recycling. The climate clue controversy asterisk. As the bird revives, fluffing feathers add a notes. Grandmother said redpolls arrived with the first melt puddles. Now, they come before the ptarmigan's molt. His simple observation mirrors modern phenology, studies showing Arctic birds migrating weeks earlier due to warming. But here's the fight. Panic insists saving this bird honors ancestral observation traditions. Siku retorts, changing skies need changing rules? Or just softer hearts? Ecologists still wrestle with intervention ethics in shifting ecosystems. The soft versus strong divide asterisk. Children gather, enthralled. Niviak offers a shred of dry char, eat, sky dancer. Siku gently stops her. If it learns human food, his eyes soften. Its flock will peck it to death for smelling wrong. The harsh truth silences the room. Survival demanded toughness, yet compassion flickered stubbornly. The compromise in caribou moss asterisk. Inuja breaks the stalemate. She weaves a miniature nest from caribou moss and ptarmigan down, lining it with dog fur asterisk. Kimmy Adair holds a son's memory asterisk, she claims. She places it high on a snow-block shelf away from drafts. Here, it chooses fly or rest. The bird tucks its head under a wing, exhausted. The unspoken parallel asterisk. Later, as steam rises from stew pots, Ujeric murmurs to you, "We are all Tiraganiac now." He gestures at the kamak, the dogs, the stored meat. The old ways? Blown by new winds. Do we fight the storm or learn new songs? The bird's faint chirp echoes his question. The dawn decision asterisk. At first light, the bird hops to the nest's edge. It chirps, a thin questioning sound. Panic opens the smoke hole flap. Cold air rushes in. The bird hesitates, then dives into the glittering void. They watch it vanish against the platinum sky. Siku exhales, his breath a long plume. Good. It remembered its wings. But Panic smiles, pointing downward. On the snow where the bird took flight, 3 tiny claw marks gleam beside a single, perfect feather. And we remembered ours. The camp returns to work, mending nets, scraping hides. But a softer mood lingers. That afternoon, Peacock carves a tiny ivory bird, wings spread mid-flight. He hangs it near the smoke hole. For Pinga, he says, to say we tried. As dusk falls, the Kulak-S flame paints the ivory bird's shadow on the wall, a fragile, dancing silhouette against the ice. The storm song hums in the wind outside, but tonight it carries a lighter note. You lie back, the day's tension dissolving. Somewhere beyond the ice, a lost songbird fights the gathering dark. Here, in the lamp's warm circle, human hearts hover between letting go and holding on. The shadow bird dances on the wall, a silent reminder. Survival isn't just endurance. It's the courage to care for fragile things in a frozen world, knowing some wings must fly alone. The cold deepens. The ivory bird sways. Sleep comes on quiet wings, carrying you into dreams of crimson feathers against endless white, beating bravely into the unknown night. Winter's iron grip softens. Days stretch longer, bleeding amethyst light across the ice. The silence deepens, not the crushing stillness of midwinter, but a hushed expectancy. Then one twilight it begins, a sharp crack, like a giant's knuckle popping, echoing for miles. Then another, and another. Soon the frozen sea thrums with a chorus of groans, creaks, and crystalline chimes. Ada smiles, laying a hand on the ice floor. Asterisk, asterisk, ice melody, farewell, asterisk, asterisk, he murmurs. The world is tuning its harp. The symphony of thaw asterisk. You step outside. The sounds are everywhere. Underfoot in the distance, echoing through the pressure ridges. A high-pitched ping like a wine glass tapped. A deep, grumbling from the depths. A sudden snap-escaree like tearing canvas. Panic emerges, holding a stretched sealskin drum. Asterisk, kill out asterisk. Time to play along, she says, her eyes bright. Mainstream fact asterisk, ice sizzle is spring's herald. As temperatures rise, brine trapped within the ice expands and escapes, creating millions of tiny bubbles that pop with ultrasonic clicks. Larger fractures release pent-up stress as frost quakes, cryoseisms. Geophysicists liken it to Earth's joints cracking after a long sleep. The drummer's dilemma asterisk. Panic kneels, drum held sideways. She doesn't strike it. She rubs a carved whalebone wand along its edge. A low, resonant woo-um shivers through the air, perfectly timed to an answering from the ice. Match the ice's breath, she instructs. Too fast? Sounds like panic. Too slow? Like a dying seal. You try. Your first WUM clashes with a nearby crack, see? Panic laughs. Argue with the ice, and you lose. The bizarre conductor asterisk. Elder Ujeric arrives with an armful of hollow bird bones, ptarmigan femurs, gull ulmas. He scatters them on a flat ice slab. As the sun warms the dark surface, the bones begin to dance, skittering and vibrating with each subsurface ping. Bones hear ice's high notes, he claims. Human ears are too slow. Bioacousticians later found bird bones resonate at specific frequencies matching ice harmonics. Elders called it listening through the ancestors. Controversy on ice asterisk. Ada points to a zigzagging fracture line. That's Salarjuak, the great river's spirit path. It sings in F-sharp when ready to break. Siku scoffs, tuning his drum. Nonsense. Ice cracks at random. Just bang the drum here for seal-calving echoes. Their debate rages over the rising din seismometers later proved ice does emit predictable harmonic sequences before major fractures. But whether it's a spirit path or stress dynamics remains academia's frozen feud. The children's chorus asterisk. Peacock and Niviak arrive with ice horns, curved narwhal tusk shavings. Blowing across the top produces eerie, warbling notes, asterisk WOO asterisk. They scamper along pressure ridges, holding horns to fissures like stethoscopes, amplifying hidden gurgles and pops. That one sounds like Tullagak laughing. Peacock yells. A distant crackle pop WHE does indeed mimic a raven's chuckle. Ethnomusicologists weep over lost Arctic jazz. The last great note asterisk. As dusk paints the sky tangerine, the tribe gathers. Drums, horns, and voices harmonize with the disintegrating ice. Panic's deep WUM mirrors the basso groans. Eugeric's bone rattle shika shika answers the brine pops. Ada chants a low vowel, A, that merges with the wind whistling through new cracks. You're handed the killout. Panic guides your hand. Here, for the heartbeat. You rub the drum's edge. The ice responds, a deep, shivering PAH that vibrates up your legs. For a breath, human and earth pulse as one. The unseen composer asterisk. Suddenly, a new sound rips the twilight. A tearing escarolem, a pressure ridge calves, shearing off a van-sized ice block that crashes into the sea. The impact's echo hangs, then fades into 1,000 tinkling droplets as ice crystals rain down. Absolute silence follows. Then, soft as a sigh, the first trickle of meltwater sings over bare rock. Plink, plink, plink. Penik los heatrom. Spring drinks the winter song, she whispers. A single drop lands on your cheek, cold, clean, alive. The ice harp falls quiet now, its final notes dissolving into the sigh of meltwater and the distant cry of returning gulls. The great white stage is emptying, dear listener. Seals bask on floes drifting seaward. Ptarmigans shed their winter gowns for mottled brown, and the sun, no longer a timid visitor, lingers golden on the horizon. Can you feel it? The softening, not just in the thawing earth beneath imaginary hammocks, but in your own bones. The long vigil is over. The blizzard howled, the whiteouts blinded. The ice sang its ancient, groaning lullabies, and you endured, not as a stranger, but as kin, learning the silence of the hunt, the warmth of the kulak, the rhythm of breath shared with seals and stars. Breathe now, deeper. The air carries wet stone and salt, the scent of beginnings. Let the drum's last hum still echo in your chest. Let the aurora's ghostly dancers waltz behind your closed eyelids. There are no more lessons tonight. No harpoons to carve, no ice to read, no dreams to decipher. Only this, the deep, slow certainty that the ice remembers your footsteps. That somewhere, under a spring moon, Tullagak flies with a stolen song in his beak, and the great drum of the earth beats on. So rest. Let the thaw seep into your dreams, not as a flood, but as a gentle rising tide, carrying you back to shores of warmth and stillness. The lamp flickers low. The hides are soft. The long night stories curl like smoke toward the stars. You are safe. You are heard. You are home. The story ends good night.